Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The headlines screamed across every screen, global oil markets in freefall. It was a moment that would be remembered for years to come. News anchors spoke in urgent tones, their faces grave, as families everywhere gathered around their televisions, trying to make sense of the chaos. The world's dependence on oil, once a source of stability and progress, had become its greatest vulnerability. European gas reserves hit critical low. In cities across the continent, officials scrambled to ration what little was left. The vast storage tanks that once brimmed with energy now echoed with emptiness, and the intricate network of pipelines that connected nations seemed suddenly fragile, stretched to their limits. Blackouts loom as energy grid falters. As storms battered the aging infrastructure, entire neighborhoods were plunged into darkness. The hum of daily life faded, replaced by an uneasy silence and the flicker of emergency lights. A deep, chilling uncertainty gripped the world, not from armies or borders, but from the invisible power that fueled modern life. People realized how much they had taken for granted, the simple act of turning on a light, charging a phone, or heating a home. The intricate web of pipelines and power plants was fragile, breaking. Decades of underinvestment and neglect had left the system vulnerable, and now, cracks were appearing everywhere. Technicians worked around the clock, but the problem seemed insurmountable. The era of cheap, reliable energy was over, a reality felt in every home, every city. People adapted as best they could, lighting candles, layering clothes, and sharing resources with neighbors. The world was learning, painfully, what it meant to live with less. In London, families huddled under blankets, their breath visible in the cold air as they tried to stay warm. The city, once vibrant and bustling, now moved at a slower, quieter pace. In Tokyo, digital billboards went dark. The neon glow that defined the city's skyline faded, leaving the streets eerily quiet. The world's most advanced cities were suddenly vulnerable, their technological marvels rendered useless without power. In New York, the city grew quieter. The constant buzz of activity slowed, and people retreated indoors, conserving what little energy they had. Even Times Square, famous for its dazzling lights, was dimmed, a symbol of the crisis gripping the globe. The global energy crisis was a silent thief, disrupting supply chains, shuttering factories, and sending living costs soaring. Supermarket shelves emptied quickly, and workers faced uncertain futures as businesses closed their doors. For decades, energy giants held immense power, but by 2025 that order was crumbling. Once mighty corporations now faced bankruptcy, their headquarters abandoned, their logos left to gather dust. Political instability, dwindling reserves, and climate crisis created a perfect storm. Leaders argued behind closed doors, while citizens took to the streets demanding action and accountability. The planet itself seemed to protest, with droughts, storms, and wildfires growing ever more severe. Nations scrambled for resources, risking environmental catastrophe for electricity. Forests were cleared, mines expanded, and communities displaced, all in a desperate bid to keep the lights on, no matter the cost. Amidst this chaos, a surprising story unfolded from the Philippines. While much of the world struggled, this island nation was quietly charting a different course, one built on hope, ingenuity, and determination. Long plagued by energy insecurity, it was forging a new path of resilience and innovation. Engineers and communities worked together, installing solar panels and wind turbines, determined to break free from the old cycle of dependence. Embracing the sun, wind, and sea, a new energy superpower was rising. The Philippines was lighting the way forward, proving that even in the darkest times, a brighter future was possible. By 2025, the energy crisis was no longer a distant threat or a headline in the news. It had become a daily reality for millions around the world. In cities like Manila, brownouts at dusk left entire neighborhoods in darkness, while across the globe, even the most developed cities struggled to keep the lights on. People waited in long lines at gas stations, anxiously watching fuel prices spike and plummet within hours. The uncertainty was palpable, as families and businesses tried to plan their days around the unpredictable availability of energy. Electricity bills soared, becoming a major source of stress for households everywhere. Parents worried about how to keep their homes running, while children studied by candlelight, adapting to a new normal where power outages were expected. The global rhythm of life was fundamentally altered. Streets that once bustled with activity fell silent during rush hour, as public transportation became unreliable and people adjusted their routines to conserve energy. Factories, once the engines of economic growth, operated on reduced schedules. Production lines slowed or stopped altogether, leaving workers uncertain about their futures and economies teetering on the edge. Small businesses, the backbone of many communities, struggled to survive as expenses skyrocketed. Owners turned off lights, closed early, and made difficult choices just to stay afloat. Even the digital world was not immune. Data centers, the unseen infrastructure powering the internet, consumed enormous amounts of electricity. Technicians worked tirelessly to keep servers running, but rolling blackouts threatened to bring the online world to a halt. The decline of old energy powers sent shockwaves through international relations. Stock markets reacted with volatility, and world leaders gathered at tense conferences, searching for solutions as alliances were tested. Nations prioritized energy security above all else, sometimes straining long-standing partnerships. The scramble for resources became frantic, with countries racing to secure whatever energy they could find. Ports bustled with activity as ships loaded precious energy resources, and mining operations expanded rapidly across Southeast Asia, transforming landscapes and economies alike. Yet, amid the chaos, Southeast Asia emerged as a beacon of hope. With its abundant sun, wind, and geothermal resources, the region found itself at the heart of a new energy revolution, investing heavily in renewables and modern infrastructure. The Philippines, in particular, stood out, uniquely positioned to harness its natural gifts. Engineers and innovators worked together, building solar farms and geothermal plants that promised a more sustainable future. What was once seen as vulnerability became a source of strength. Communities celebrated as new solar-powered lights illuminated their streets, and hope for a brighter, more resilient future began to take root across the nation. The titans of the old energy world were on their heels. By 2025, their power foundations were cracking. Geopolitical conflicts turned pipelines into political weapons. Dwindling resources and growing demand for clean energy left them without solutions. Into this vacuum stepped Southeast Asia, asserting itself with potent renewable resources. Countries like Vietnam and Indonesia ramped up solar and wind investments. Among these nations, the Philippines emerged compellingly. Its geography, once a vulnerability, became its greatest gift. With wind, geothermal, and solar potential, it transformed its identity. The world watched this unlikely leader rise. The Philippines' energy story was one of struggle and dependency. Blackouts were a frustrating part of daily life. This struggle bred resilience but hampered progress. A national desire for change emerged, and energy self-reliance became imperative. The government enacted bold reforms, and communities built their own solutions. Small-scale solar and micro-hydro projects appeared. The Philippines harnessed its natural advantages with determination. The narrative of vulnerability was rewritten into a story of strength. The archipelago of shadows became islands of light, inspiring a world seeking a new way forward. The Malampaya project was a symbol of national ambition. It provided a domestic energy source, reducing dependence on imports. Malampaya inspired confidence and built a skilled workforce. As the world faced the 2025 energy crisis, its lessons were crucial. It provided stability, allowing long-term planning for a renewable future. The gas kept the lights on, enabling the build-out of solar and wind. Malampaya fostered innovation and belief in national capabilities. It laid the groundwork for the Philippines to lead in the new energy era. The energy transformation unfolded on rooftops and in small businesses. The crisis accelerated the democratization of energy. Citizens became active participants, generating their own power. Solar panels on rooftops became common, reducing grid reliance. Excess power was sold back, turning meters into income sources. In rural areas, off-grid solutions brought reliable electricity. Community-owned projects powered schools and clinics. This was about dignity, opportunity, and connection to the modern world. The energy transition became a source of national pride and conversation. It was a testament to Filipino ingenuity and resilience. The Philippine energy landscape in 2025 is a mosaic of old and new. Solar farms and wind turbines symbolize commitment to a new energy future. They represent billions in investment and confidence in green policies. Wind farms create jobs and diversify income sources. The new infrastructure aims for a resilient, decentralized energy system. A distributed network of renewable sources ensures grid stability. The government's role has been critical in this build-out. Policy reforms and investments create an environment for ambitious projects. The National Grid Corporation upgrades the transmission network. This coordinated effort builds the Philippines into tomorrow's energy superpower. The Philippines' journey to energy superpower status faces challenges. Resource security in contested waters is a geopolitical risk. Balancing old and new energy sources is crucial. Phasing out fossil fuels too quickly risks shortages and price shocks. The geography presents risks from natural disasters. Infrastructure must withstand earthquakes and typhoons. Ensuring benefits reach all communities is essential. Last-mile electrification must be a focus. Navigating these challenges solidifies the Philippines as a model for sustainable development. As the sun rises in August 2025, it casts a golden glow over the heart of the Philippines, symbolizing not just the start of a new day, but the dawn of a new era for the nation. This sunrise is more than a daily event. It marks a turning point, a moment when hope and possibility fill the air, and the promise of progress becomes tangible for millions. The journey from dependency to leadership in the energy sector has completely reshaped the nation's destiny. Where once the country relied heavily on imported fuels and outdated systems, it now stands as a model of innovation and self-reliance, inspiring neighboring countries to follow its lead. The Philippines is defined by the vision and resilience of its people. From bustling cities to remote villages, Filipinos have come together, united by a shared dream of a brighter, more sustainable future. Their determination and hard work have turned challenges into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Today, stable and reliable electricity powers economic growth, fuels innovation, and improves the quality of life for every Filipino. Factories hum with activity, businesses thrive, and homes are filled with light and laughter, all made possible by a robust and modern energy infrastructure. The energy reform has delivered more than just power. It has brought hope, opportunity, and a better future for all. Children can now study at night, families enjoy greater comfort, and communities are connected like never before. At the heart of this transformation are the Filipino people themselves. Engineers, workers, and community leaders have become the driving force behind this remarkable change, working tirelessly to build a nation powered by clean, renewable energy. The Philippines' story is now a beacon of hope for the world, a testament to what can be achieved when a nation unites behind a common goal. International headlines celebrate the country's achievements, and the world looks to the Philippines as a shining example of progress. This journey proves that clean energy is not just a distant dream, but an achievable reality. Across the archipelago, solar panels and wind turbines harness nature's power, providing clean, sustainable energy for generations to come. The nation is now on a path to true energy independence, with homegrown green technology products being exported to the world. Filipino innovation is making its mark on the global stage, and the country's expertise is in high demand. As the Philippine dawn breaks, it illuminates not just the land, but a new way forward for the world, a future where hope, resilience, and innovation light the path for all.